Just making weight?
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool because I know it was like too heavy. So
Yeah.
I think in the beginning of the camp, I was probably like.
Keeson Davis is done pissing off Tank, and things just escalated much quicker than we saw it coming after Kesson started mentioning Tank's trainer's family, and even his fighting style. Tank threw tough words back, but it seems that they never silenced Kesson.
What you think? Like, because I'm a person that really believes in myself, you know?
Yeah.
So I want to get other people's opinions too. Like, am I tripping, or do what I really believe, is that true? Is other people believe that in them too?
And now Kenny Ellis has fired back at Kesson, and things recently got physical between the two.
You are good. You are real good. But there's levels to this game, Keyshawn.
Okay, we gonna talk about levels. Okay, just know it's levels. It's certain levels in the amateur game, but when we go to pros, it's no more levels. I take it to the.
Kesson Davis has been fired up fiery, as in all his words and focus are aimed at Tank. Today, Kesson posted a video online practically begging Tank to send me the contract, only to turn around and say, "I don't need you." It sounded confusing, even desperate.
I don't need you, bro. If you want to fight me, send me a contract. But if you don't, I'm going to be just as popular fighting you or not fighting you. I'm going to make my money fighting you or not fighting you. So don't get it twisted. Like I'm chasing after you. I'm not chasing you. Little dude. Little dwarf. Oopa loopa.
Watching him, you'd almost think he was seconds from tears, his voice shaking as he laid down his challenge. It's obvious this fight is something he deeply wants, something he can't seem to shake from his mind, but the way he keeps calling Tank out day after day, interview after interview, it's starting to sound like he's obsessed.
I didn't watch it, but I saw it was an early knockout. You know, he come out sharp and put the man to sleep. You know, so you know he is next up. He's going to be a great fighter.
He's calling for Tank. Now,
he beats Tank.
Yeah, you think so?
Keyshawn Davis beats Tank, in my opinion. I believe he's give him a good ass spanking.
Last Friday, Kesson managed to grab another win, this time against Gustavo Lemos. It was supposed to be his big moment, a showcase to prove he's got what it takes to hang with the best. And since that night, Kesson has been pumped about it, calling his victory over Lemos something that will be remembered for the next 10 years.
World title's definitely gonna be next 2025. We got big plans for everybody in the boxing world. Hey, Gervonta, knock knock.
But if we're being honest, beating Lemos isn't exactly a jaw-dropping accomplishment. Lemos, after all, wasn't riding high. In his previous bout, he lost to Richardson Hitchens, a fight where he looked outmatched, sluggish, and almost lost. Keyshawn's big win isn't the game changer he's making it out to be. To get a shot at Tank, he'll have to do way more than beat fighters like Lemos. If Kesson genuinely wants to make his way to a big money fight against Tank, he'll have to go through a serious lineup.
Tank for sure got all the skill, all the ability in the world. Tank is one of the few fighters that I got real respect.
He's got to earn his stripes by facing fighters who can really test him, fighters with the skill, grit, and hunger to put him through the ringer. He can't keep chasing Tank without backing up his words in the ring. If wants to build a resume worthy of challenging Tank, he'll need to take on fighters like Andy Cruz, Raymond Morala, Edwin Dos Santos, and Abdullah Mason. Now that's a lineup that would really prove what Kean's got in the tank.
You know, you stole the show. You know, I know it's, you know, you're the main event. You're supposed to, but you delivered.
Right.
And you, after it, you said, you know, knock, knock, Tank.
Yeah.
I'm knocking on the door. You came over here, said light skin. A lot of fight fans like when people call out and things like that.
But only person that don't like it is him. He's kind of weird. But now he got no choice but to fight me. The fans want him to fight me. After what I just did tonight against a guy that's bigger than him.
However, Keyshawn's win over Lemos doesn't prove much in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't bring him any closer to a fight with Tank, who's known for taking on tougher, more dangerous opponents. Tank doesn't handpick fighters who are easy to beat or coming off losses. Tank wants excitement in the ring. And so do the fans. That's what has kept his popularity soaring.
World title's definitely gonna be next 2025. We got big plans for everybody in the boxing world. Hey, Gervonta, knock knock.
Online, Kesson continued his tirade, directing his words straight at Tank. Tell light-skinned Devon Davis to get out of his feelings and send me a contract. It's straight like that, he said, calling out Tank with a bit of an edge, and it's this call-out that made things worse when they actually met face to face, where the two got into a brawl that they had to be separated by security.
Time out. Was he selling 10,000 tickets at 11-0? But I'm not worth mentioning. Like, what are you talking about, bro?
Kesson seems confident that if he baits Tank enough, the fight will happen, but the reality is, if he doesn't start facing better fighters and working his way up, he'll be waiting for that contract for a very long time. In his heart, Kesson says he doesn't need Tank, but his actions tell a different. Story as promoter Top Rank should be stepping in and giving him real tests in the ring, not feeding him e-fights that look good on paper, but don't add real weight to his record. Kesson did manage to throw some big names around, mentioning fighters like Lemos, Miguel Meduaze Praza, and Nahir. All bright as examples of tough competition.
Teofimo been doing a lot of talking lately, so hey, I go out to 140 and fight Teofimo. What's up? Get this win tonight. Teofimo, you already know how I'm coming. You and your father.
But in truth, none of these fighters are on the same level as Tank. They're solid boxers, sure, but they're not the type of competition that will catapult Kesson to start him. If Kesson is serious about building a career that will get him the attention he craves, he should be looking to face Andy Cruz. His old rival from his amateur days, Cruz, has beaten Kesson 4 times, and those losses still sting. Taking Cruz on again would be a huge thing, and it would show fans he's ready to risk it all for greatness. Kian's comments about Tank's career are almost laughable. He makes stuff look good, he makes stuff look better than what it is. Resume what Keyshawn said. What kind of resume does he have? He ain't got no resume, and he got fighters that we knew he was going to win. I'm not trying to hear any of that. Which is interesting because recently Tank has been called out for facing weaker opponents, but this doesn't make Kesson the big opponent. In fact, if this fight was to happen, Kesson would actually be one of the easiest wins, and that's what Tank has been saying, urging the kid to stay in his lane. Kesson, meanwhile, is trying to shortcut his way to the top, hoping that calling out Tank will get him the fight he wants without proving himself first. Keyshawn's frustration show when he says, I need the whole world to be against me in that fight so I can show how great I really am. I don't need anybody for me for that fight. But it's easy to talk tough. What Kesson needs is to let his fist do the talking, taking on fighters who can bring out his best. That's how stars are born, not from calling out the biggest names without the wins to back it up.
Hey, for that other southpaw on the other side of the street, this is an example for you, but I probably can do you a little earlier than that. You and Earl keep saying this, that, and third. I want to fight, but
at 25, Kesson still has time to build his career the right way, but if he keeps going down this path, he risks ending up like other fighters who promised big things but fell short. Right now, he's on the road to being a fake star, a hyped-up contender without the resume to match his confidence. Just like Edgar Berlanga, Keyshawn could end up as a fighter who talks big but fizzles out when it counts. Fans respect courage, not empty braveness. Kian's words may get him attention, but it's his actions that will make him a real contender.
I love Keyshawn. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's getting better and better and better. You can't take, when a fighter comes in...
Want to see greatness, but they won't believe in someone who only talks about it, and that is the exact criticism that Kenny Ellis also brought up. Kenny Ellis recently revealed the truth behind Kesson Davis's intense push for a title shot against the reigning king of the lightweight division. According to Ellis, Khan's motivation for calling out Tank isn't really about the glory or the chance to prove himself as a world-class fighter. No, it's something much simpler. It's the money. Ellis believes that Kesson, who currently holds the number 3 spot in both the WBC and WBO rankings with an undefeated record of 12-0 and 8 knockouts, knows that facing Tank will be the biggest payday of his career. A fight against WBA champion Tank Davis, who's sitting pretty with a record of 30-0 and 28 knockouts, would mean a fat paycheck for Kesson, one that could set him up for life by Norfolk standards.
Hey, buddy Shakur, just one question. How did Keyshawn look, man?
You ready for whoever comes next, man? That boy ready. He been ready. Actually, you know what I mean? It's just given the opportunity, that's all.
Win or lose, if Kesson can step into the ring with Tank, he'll be a wealthy man. And that's what's really driving him. That's why he's calling Tank out so hard. Kesson has been everywhere hyping himself up, claiming he's ready to face the best, saying that he's the man to take down. But Coach Ellis doesn't buy it. He sees through the smoke and mirrors and believes that Keyshawn's true goal isn't to prove his skills, but to get the Tank payday, the life-changing purse that comes with fighting one of the sport's biggest names. Ellis has a different perspective, saying that Kesson is also trying to distract fans from the fact that he's been avoiding one particular fighter, Andy Cruz.
those are 2 messages before I get off this damn live. Tell lil bro, turn his punches over. You're pro now, okay? Turn the punches over. Those slaps is not gonna get counted pro, okay?
Andy Cruz stands as a roadblock in Khan's path to Tank. Cruz isn't just another fighter. He's Keyshawn's old nemesis, the man who defeated him soundly in the 2020 Olympic finals, denying him the gold medal and leaving a scar on Khan's record that has yet to heal. It wasn't just a close fight. Cruz outclassed him, making it clear who was the better boxer that day. Cruz's win was so dominant that after the fight, Kesin seemed out of touch, with reality running around the ring, as if he'd won, waving his hands in celebration. To those watching, it felt like Kesin was in a different world, maybe even in denial, trying to celebrate a victory that hadn't happened. Cruz had schooled him plain and simple. This defeat from Cruz is the ghost that still haunts Keyshawn's career, but instead of facing his conqueror and attempting to avenge his loss, Kesin has been busy calling out Tank, hoping to get the big money fight instead of proving himself by tackling Cruz' coach. Ellis is convinced that Kesin knows deep down that if he fought Cruz now and lost again, his chances of ever facing Tank would go up, and smoke another loss to Cruz would derail any hopes of a high-profile fight with Tank. And so in Ellis's view, Kesin is taking the easier route, calling out Tank, directly hoping to sidestep the tough fights in between. For Ellis, it's obvious that Kesin wants the payday without the grind, the fame without the hardship. But boxing experts Ellis believes aren't fooled. He's hoping that the boxing community, especially Kean's hometown fans in Norfolk, Virginia, can see through the hype. The casual fan doesn't know what's really going on, Ellis said, adding a wink to the people in Norfolk. He knows they see the bigger picture, and he wants them to realize that Keyshawn's bold call-outs and posturing are all part of a strategy to avoid facing Andy Cruz again. He thinks the true boxing fans in Norfolk want Kesin to prove himself, to get that smoke back by trying to avenge his loss to Cruz. That's the fight. Ellis believes the true boxing fans want to see a battle for redemption, not just a cash grab.
For levels.
Hey, I don't care if the world don't understand. The world can keep saying this throughout the entire career. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I know when it comes to the businessman fighting, they're gonna tune in to watch me fight because I put on.
He believes that Kesin is using Tank's name for clout and isn't really interested in taking the hard road to the top. The trainer is blunt about what he thinks Kesin needs to do next: face his past, square up with Cruz, and handle his unfinished business before he even dreams of challenging Tank. Ellis's words were simple. Even when he loses to Devon Davis, Kesin knows it will be his biggest payday, he said, laying it out as plainly as possible. In Ellis's eyes, Kesin isn't as focused on winning as he is on cashing in. He's pushing hard for the Tank fight, knowing that even a loss to Tank would still bring him the kind of money that could change his life. But as things stand, Khan's path isn't taking him toward Tank. His decision to face slower, less dangerous fighters isn't going to bring him closer to a title shot. Ellis knows this, and he's hoping Keyshawn's fans can see it too. Ellis wants Kesin to take the hard road to fight Cruz and prove his worth before he goes after Tank. In Ellis's view, Keyshawn's current strategy is taking him in the wrong direction. He's trying to bypass the tough fights, hoping to get a shortcut to Tank. But boxing doesn't work that way. The fans want to see fighters who've earned their spot, who've battled through adversity and come out stronger. Kesin has the talent, but he needs to prove he has the heart to match. Coach Ellis's message was clear. Keyshawn Davis needs to face his past, confront his demons, and earn his place among the elite before he steps up to the king of the lightweight division. If he keeps avoiding Andy Cruz and taking the easy fights, he'll never get there. Kesin has a choice to make: take on the hard fights and build a legacy, or chase the payday and risk fading into the background. The road to Tank isn't easy, but if Kesin truly wants to reach the top, he'll have to earn it.
I would prefer Tank Davis, the top guy. I would go for the top guy. If I could choose, I would choose Tank Davis. I would not Tank short out.
Besides, Andy Cruz himself has called out Kesin. The decorated Cuban boxer, who has bested Keyshawn Davis 4 times, has a message for his familiar foe. He took to Instagram with a clear, direct call-out addressing Keyshawn's recent chatter about wanting to face him 40 in the pros, 40 versus my son, Keyshawn Davis. Knock, yo, son, send me the copy of the contract you're saying you sent a contract to my team. Send the photo. We all want to see it. Cruz posted, putting Keyshawn on the spot. Keyshawn has been vocal about wanting big fights, yet Andy is skeptical. If Keyshawn claims he sent a contract, where is it? Cruz wants proof. He's not interested in talk. He wants action. Cruz has heard Keyshawn's boasts, watched the callouts, and seen the energy Keyshawn directs at Tank Davis, but he's calling for a reality check. He's telling Keyshawn to stop reaching so high and look at the fighter right in front of him, the one who's already shown him up multiple times. Keyshawn is without an opponent right now, making this the perfect moment for him to face Cruz. And if he can finally overcome him, but instead of jumping at the chance to settle the score, Keyshawn seems to be looking in a different direction, eyeing the WBO lightweight champion Dennis Barrick for a potential matchup in early 2025. If I send him a contract, Is he going to sign it? I don't know, Keyshawn said. Recently casting doubt on Cruz's willingness to face him, Keyshawn is even more dismissive in his social media posts, repeatedly insisting he'd knock Cruz out and brushing off the idea that Cruz is even ready to fight him.
Their court. We're waiting on them. We already sent them a contract. We already sent Kent Austin a contract. Kent Austin's promoters said we don't want to entertain Keyshawn. Like, I'm not getting up here fucking lying to y'all. Kent Austin promoters said they don't want to entertain me.
Yet Andy Cruz is right there waiting for Keyshawn to make a move. Cruz's Instagram post shows he's ready, even taunting Keen with the 40 reminder highlighting their history to Cruz. There's no mystery or hesitation on his end. He's not ducking or dodging. Instead, he's putting Keen's words to the test, demanding transparency about this so-called contract and telling to stop the games. While Keyshawn has been busy chasing Tank Davis, Andy Cruz is calling him back to reality. Tank is on another level entirely, and Cruz believes Keyshawn is putting the cart before the horse by obsessively targeting Tank without proving himself against his past rivals. Keyshawn's attempts to diminish Cruz's readiness and dismiss his talent aren't changing the fact that Cruz has been the better fighter. Whenever they've met, the record speaks for itself. Cruz's challenge isn't just a call for a fight, it's a call for Keyshawn to back up his talk and prove that he's learned and grown as a fighter. Cruz isn't interested in the noise around Tank or Baranek. His focus is laser sharp on Keyshawn, and he's ready to see if Keyshawn will step up and face him instead of reaching for bigger names without paying his dues.
I think Keyshawn can beat him in the pros, even though Andy had his number, no doubt about it, throughout all the amateurs, including the Olympics. But I think, the pros is a different game.
Wart, the back and forth between these two is more than just competitive banter for Cruz. This is about settling unfinished business and proving that his dominance over Keyshawn is no fluke. He's reminding Keyshawn that before he chases the likes of Tank, he needs to take care of what's right in front of him. Boxing records are more than just numbers, they're the legacy fighters leave behind, and for Cruz, his clean slate against Keyshawn is a record he intends to defend. Keyshawn can talk all he wants about knocking Cruz out, but Cruz knows that until Keyshawn signs the contract and steps into the ring with him, again, it's all just talk.
Key, fight Frank Martin. Key, fight Floyd Schofield. Key, fight Devin Hay.
Keyshawn has built a reputation for calling out high-profile fighters, especially Tank Davis, but this call-out from Cruz is different. Cruz is saying, let's settle this once and for all. He's not asking Keyshawn to look up at the stars, he's demanding he face the fighter standing in his shadow. For Keyshawn, a win over Cruz would be a major step in his career, a signal to the boxing world that he's evolved and is ready to move up to the elite ranks. But until he does, Cruz will be there reminding him that there's no shortcut to the top.
Say, bro, Andy Cruz might need a translator, but he know how to talk that shit, bro. He know how to talk that shit. Andy Cruz is doing an interview.
So will he continue to reach for fights that feel out of grasp? Or will he take on Cruz and attempt to rewrite his story? What do you think? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. See you in the next one.